Alright guys, for today's video we're going to be talking about the Arturia top 5 plugins for mixing. I'm also going to go over really sound design, and the point of this video is going to be really plugins that inspire and create vibe. And I'm just going to go through my top 5. I'm going to start at number 5, and number 1 is obviously my favorite plugin that I use on most mixes these days, and also a lot of creative projects where I'm just writing songs. Number 5 is the Arturia tape delay. In this section, I just want to show you the song we're going to be working on for the majority of this video. This is something I wrote with a buddy of mine. So the first plugin I'm going to be looking at is the tape delay. That is my number 5 plugin out of this top 5 countdown. I'm going to show you guys what I had before. This is just something that was recorded in my living room with this mic probably. And so it's a pretty pointy acoustic. It doesn't sound like awesome. It's okay, but it's a little sharp for my taste. And it just sounds plain Jane. So this is how I'm using the tape delay for this song. I'm just adding some reverb to it and putting it in some space. Now, another plugin that's going to be in this video as well is the tape Melo-fi. So here's that with it. And so that's really just darkening it up or warming it up, however you want to say it. And then I have a reverb here for this. And that was from Universal Audio when I actually tracked it through my Apollo with my friend. There you go. Here's without these plugins. Now it's also louder than I normally had it. It's meant to just be kind of an atmospheric part, give it some vibe, put it below a little bit so it's not so pointy. It doesn't sound bad like that, but I like what's going on there. I like that it's kind of putting it underneath the mix a little bit. That's with the tape delay. And so also there's a piano part, which is right here. And that's with a distortion plugin from Slate Digital, where I'm just using some saturation, and then the tape delay. It's kind of just giving it a kind of a ping pong, or it's like it's slapping back a little bit. And so I am putting these plugins directly on my track. These aren't buses. I do, when it comes to like vocals, I will put a reverb on a bus and send my vocal to it or something like that. Unless, like right now, I'm just designing these parts to try to kind of sit them in the mix a little better and make them sound a little bit cooler. That's kind of the use of this tape delay for this. It's without it. That's going to do it for this section of just the tape delay. That's just how I'm using this. I will use that plugin on drums sometimes just to give it kind of like a when the levee breaks vibe. And there's a lot of uses for this plugin, but it's really cool, and it just adds a lot of, I'm going to say it again, vibe to parts. So the next plugin, so number 4 on this list is going to be the Rev Plate 140, and this is a really cool plate plugin. I was very excited to get this. It's a good reverb, and so this is how I'm using it on the same piano track, just to kind of sit things back. Here's without it. It's just that normal piano, my Nord, and then it's just giving it a little bit of space, and it also helps it sit back in the mix. It's just a little too in my face without it. Kind of extends some of those notes. I'm using the plate and I'm using the tape delay, and then I'm also using the memory Brigade to give this one some vibe as well. This is just a duplicated piano track. So what I really like about the Memory Brigade is this vibrato section. If I turn up the delay here, or the blend, it kind of gives it this warble thing. But this is a really great delay. It's not a digital one. It's supposed to be an analog delay where it kind of will die normally. A digital delay will just keep going and going as long as you want it to. This one has a very warm vibe. I'm going to keep using that phrase. Just it kind of takes away some of that harsh high end. And that's what I mean by warm. That's the Memory Brigade. It's one of my favorite plugins for just making the track sound cool. But I had it a little bit less than that. It was more of a delay. And then really I'm using the plate, the delay, and there's the tape delay. It's kind of, I'm also doing this so I can spread things out across the mix. Like it's a little bit in the left ear, it's a little bit over here, like right of center. But it's just giving it space, and also it's instead of me tracking the piano part twice, I'm just gonna put some delays on it and everything, and just kind of try to give it space. So here's how I'm using the Plate 140 from Arturia. The plate.
I've seen it all before, and every time I feel like I'm surprised. And I'm out here on my own.
And so I added a delay
tends to meet the eye here on the open road.
And a compressor from Arturia as well, the 1176.
Here on the open road.
And then I'm just kind of bringing down some of the highs and taking out some of the low end. So here it is with everything.
I've seen it all before, and every time I feel like I'm surprised.
There's a double and all that.
And I'm out here on my own.
Here's without the the plate.
Just tends to meet the eye here on the open road.
I'll take off these other reverbs.
Here on the open road. Well, I've seen it all before, and every time I feel like I'm surprised. And I'm out here on my own.
And so that's pretty much it for the plate. Now we're going to go and look at my #1 plugin for Arturia is the Bus Force. And I love this plugin on drums and on my mix bus. And so here are some of the drums. And I'm going to turn off all the plugins. This is what the Easy Drummer sounds are. If you guys have any interest in a video about how to make Easy Drummer sound cool, or just to make the beats sound more realistic, please leave a comment down below and let me know about that, and I'll make a video on that. But here's what the Bus Force is doing. And so this plugin, I'm not going to go over all the little things you can do with it, but I'll just try to give you guys an overview. That it's got an EQ section here. It's kind of almost like a channel strip. It has a high pass and low pass filter, and then a compressor that really isn't even working right now. I mean, I have it in, but it's not even doing any gain reduction. And then my favorite section of this plugin is the saturation section, where it just kind of adds some grit. If I take it away, it just doesn't feel that great. And then the other thing that's cool is this clipping function here. You can make it clip. If I pull up this makeup gain, you can just hear, yeah, I mean, and the thing with this plugin, I have gone overboard with it a couple of times. You can like burn it like you're baking a cake. You can just put way too much saturation. It's got this harmonic section, which is a little bit harder to hear, especially if you're not listening in like studio monitors or something. And it's got a couple of different options. So that's a little bit more subtle. But what's cool too is that you can take the compressor out, and then there's a dry path, a like compression path, and then there's a saturation path. And so you can kind of like, so I took the compressor out and it's in the compression path, and you can kind of blend this signal in, or you can saturate the crap out of this and just kind of blend that in. You can just use these in parallel. That's pretty much the point. And so I don't really mess with that too much, but that is one of the features of this plugin that is pretty cool. I've had a lot of fun with it, just doing what I've been doing, which is for the drums, I put a little bit of EQ, I think it's like 4 or 5 dB at 90 hertz to make it feel a little fatter. Then I got, I'm taking out 5 dB at 600. I didn't even touch this. This was just the preset EQ point for the mid section. And then in the high, I'm adding 4 dB of 37 hertz. And I'm scooping off at 67, but I also have a little bump. You can use this to make a bump, make that a little fatter. And I really enjoy this plugin. I think it sounds great, and it's on pretty much every drum bus, or I at least try it on the drum bus, and sometimes it just goes on the whole overall mix, and I just kind of dial it in. It's like icing on the cake a little bit. If you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, please hit the like and subscribe button. And also, if you use Arturia plugins and you have a favorite, please leave it down below. I'd love to hear how you guys are using these plugins. For me, they're really just creative tools to write songs, and then for mixing as well, they can really help a mix sound great. So I hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.